and then we can trigger government military responses, such as the U.S. Department of Defense, to get involved. So that's a little paraphrasing, but it was pretty much a direct quote. And then there's like mentions of the NGO community, ranger forces, and others must make a convincing case if they want strong military involvement. Many ranger forces in Central Africa are paramilitary, and the DoD should be able to work with them on a military-to-military basis. And so there's just starts to seem like a pattern in which the military, especially, AFRICOM and the U.S. military, are becoming, more allied with the WWF and other conservancy nonprofits. And so that gives me the impression that it's sort of a pretext more than an actual concern.
Yeah, just the expression you used, wildlife crime fighting. Like, we're falling for that one, man. You know what I mean?
Well, if you read like National Geographic or CNN, News Online and stuff,
Yeah.
I linked to a few different examples, but they keep saying it's about fighting terrorists and saying like Al-Shabaab and Boko Haram are making all their money to do terrorism from poaching. But you'll see in my article, like there's a CNN article titled "How Poaching Fuels Terrorism Funding." It's a Washington Post article, "Break the Link Between Terrorism Funding and Poaching." The director of Zero Dark 30 did a short film about terrorism being funded by the ivory trade. But then when you look at the research, it turns out that Boko Haram doesn't get very much funding from poaching. It gets a lot more from stealing cattle and things like that. And so, like, there's a National Science Foundation funded paper that says, that Boko Haram isn't interested in poaching. And you get another one from the Royal United Services Institute in England saying that poaching is more linked to organized crime than it is to terrorism. So there's like a few scholarly examples saying that those are wrong. And there's even a Brookings Institution report that says that no matter how much people want to link the poaching to terrorism, it's just not really there. That's not much of a link. So it really feels like a cover to me.
It's brilliant, It's brilliant. Because just think, you want to remove some indigenous people. You want to steal their land and steal their resources. So you create these thugs, these mercenary groups, right, with no accountability, right? There's no one monitoring these people. They're not accountable to the United Nations or anything, or any kind of what's that other thing? The Geneva Convention, right? Not even close. These guys do whatever they want. And how do we get to pay for it? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to put these commercials on TV saying, "Oh, save the animals," and all the vegans and the peaceniks are going to donate money to that. It's going to this.
Well, that's even like, so that is a huge portion of it is from donations, but it's also the U.S. government and like other governments are giving money to the WWF to perform these projects. So the story I just read today was published by the same BuzzFeed author, said that USAID who is a big contributor to the WWF. I have the numbers of how much they've donated over the years, but something like $120 million to the WWF. And so the the BuzzFeed story says that USAID specifically gave them money to fund these paramilitary groups. I'm sure you at least know, and some of your listeners, that USAID is often a front for, or can be a front for, the CIA and covert actions. So it's not just the peaceniks, but it's the government that is giving this money to them, probably for specific reasons.
And this is some brilliant reporting, man. I tell you deserve like a Pulitzer Prize for this, man. This is, and it's right in front of our face, going on right there. $120 million. They're funding these mercenaries to go around there on the pretext that it's to save tigers.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked about there's actual ties between the WWF and the CIA and covert operations. This is all stuff that's happening now, so it's sort of hard to get into the cracks and see what's going on. But we can look at documents from the 80s and learn that they have been using this as a pretext for military operations.
Well, give us some examples. I know one you cited was the ANC, Nelson Mandela. What do you have there?
Yeah, so that's the big one is that so the founder, if I could just back up for a second, is
Sure.
a German prince who married into Dutch royalty. His name's Prince Bernhard. I don't know if anybody's heard of him since he died in like early 2000s, but this guy, he helped found the WWF, and he is like a really shady and interesting character because in addition to founding the WWF, he also founded the Bilderberg Group, which everybody associates with rich people planning, what they're going to do to the entire world in secret meetings once a year or something. But besides that, he was very well connected with lots of sort of underworld and overworld figures. So he was connected with Alan Dulles, supposedly in a New York Times article. He was described as being really close friends with Dulles. And then in one document that I found on the CIA's FOIA reading room, shows that he offered the CIA a Dutch intelligence officer to work for them. And that's just like some of his CIA ties, but he's also used to be a Nazi, actually. He was before he fled Germany during the war. He was part of the SS, and he was part of their paramilitary organization called the National Socialist Motor Corps. And he also worked for IG Farben, the manufacturers of Zyklon B.
Right.
And with IG Farben, he worked in their espionage division as an operative. So he sort of has a long history of intelligence, and that's just sort of the beginning. We haven't even gotten into what happened with the WWF.
Well, Michael, just because a guy's a Nazi, right, and a Bilderberger, the CIA, and all this stuff, doesn't mean he doesn't like wild animals, right? He could be sincere with his love for the World Wildlife Fund. Isn't that possible, Mr. Molitch-Hou, or not?
I'm so happy that you're pronouncing my name right so often. Yeah, that's definitely possible. But
possible.
Like, what makes you start to read a little bit more, and this isn't some of this stuff. I feel like I'm the first person to introduce some of the about the connection to the CIA are some of the first, because no one's really been able to prove that he's been affiliated with the CIA, though some people have suspected it. But it gets a little crazier when I think in 1970 he brings on board the South African businessman. He was supposedly the wealthiest businessman in South Africa at the time. His name's Anton Rupert, and or Rupert. I'm not sure how South Africans pronounce it, but they started this group, which is crazy to think that nobody just knows this, or that actually it's crazy to me that BuzzFeed didn't report this. They started a group called the 1001 Nature Trust, and it's made up 1,001 members, including Prince Bernhard, and each of those members contributes $10,000 to the group, and so the group membership has been a secret. Even to the board of the WWF, but that money is supposed to go to the WWF and fund its activities, but the board doesn't even know who it is. But then, so in the 80s, some names were leaked to the public from the 1001 Nature Trust, and they're some of the biggest names you could think of, both in the world of mobsters, not mobsters, but arms dealers, and business leaders. So you have Henry Ford is in it, Tom Watson from IBM's in it, Stephen Bechtel from the Bechtel Corporation, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the general director of British Petroleum, the CEO of Philip Morris, the CEO of Shell, Robert McNamara.
Oh boy!
So these are all sort of the supposedly acceptable types of people in the group. But then on the other side, you have the dictator of Zaire, Mobutu Seko Seko. You have arms dealer Adnan Khashoggi, who now is famous again from the Epstein affair. You have Osama bin Laden's brother, Salim bin Laden. Franco's Minister of Information. You have a drug and arms trafficker. And this one's really important to me. The founder of the Bank of Credit and Commerce International. which is the bank that the CIA used to launder funds to Osama bin Laden in the 80s.
Now, the World Wildlife Fund, they take donations, though, right, from the average public? They recruit, solicit donations?
Yeah.
It's a 501c, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What? But you're right. And there is a link to BuzzFeed on this, right? But BuzzFeed isn't talking about any of this. What is BuzzFeed talking about?
Well, they're talking about the modern – I mean, they have like pretty much a paragraph saying the WWF was founded in the 60s by some conservationists. Oh. That's basically all they say. But the fact that one of the founders was a prince seems relevant at the very least, but that he started a shady organization to fund the WWF filled with, CIA assets, dictators and drug traffickers seems at the very least relevant.
Michael Molitch-Hou, the understatement of the year. I love this guy. It is relevant. It is relevant. Just like the impeachment hearings the other day. It could be more outlandish, couldn't it? It could be more outlandish. You know what I'm saying, man? Oh, my goodness. All right. This might be a good time to take a little commercial break here. We are with a great journalist here, Michael Molitch-Hou. Runs this website here called, what is this thing here? The realityinstitute.net. And he's telling us the story of paramilitary panda, WWF, not the wrestlers, but the World Wildlife Fund, land grabs rooted in covert apartheid history. I got to check this out. Really good stuff here, man. I'm really glad we booked you. We'll be right back with more of Michael Molitch-Hou right after these messages.
Thanks.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes, the abduction, sexual trafficking, and cannibalization of our children. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down, shining a light on the root cause of these crimes and introducing a spiritual solution. Justice will be served. Available at lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions, that's the